Hello once again, everyone, and welcome to the Sanctuary. I'm your host, CruiseNickX, and once again we are playing Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn as a little bit of a trip down memory lane. Now, we've changed up the rules to actually be a list of stipulations to this trip down memory lane I'm doing. If you'll recall, I did have rules to this, and I'm still abiding by most of them. It's just I needed to change a few things. I'm honestly making this up as I go along, and I know that's probably not good, but it's to keep myself at a good level while also not being too challenging, with the exception of the dungeons anyway. So we're doing this on my main character, Chris Valentine, under New Game Plus. The other stipulations regarding this are that I am only doing these expansions as Meteor's job only, which means in A Realm Reborn, especially now that I am beyond the level 30 mark, I will be running as Warrior. I'm doing all of my instances will be duty support only, with the exception of normal raids, alliance raids, and dungeons where I cannot use duty support. And finally, I will be wearing quest level appropriate gear. It's simple enough. So bringing us to side by side brings us back to the Forgotten Springs. Where we last left off, we were still working to gather stuff for a banquet for a couple of guests who are coming to Costa del Sol. Now, before we even start on our little quest line, we do have a missing quest by the name of the Drake Exception. Essentially what it was Uadnun was testing us in order to see if we were a decent hunter. But yeah, Uadnun had us head into the Sagali Desert and kill sand drakes to collect their blood. And unfortunately, the sand drakes were so sparsely placed that you had to run or drive all over the place. Thankfully, we no longer have to deal with that. But as such, we will see a few dialogue changes because of the fact that that quest is now missing. So let's get right down to it with our quest, the Perfect Prey. Persistent bugger. Very well. Let's have a look at you. You've seen your share of battle, there is no mistaking that. And you did manage to obtain that adamantoise egg. However, that was not more than a display of brute force and blind courage. The Noon I once thought also believed that his strength would save him. He was wrong, and now I am Noon. Many years ago, I joined the company of heroes to hone my skills, instead of challenging my predecessor before I was ready. Even when I was young, I understood that victory goes to the patient, the cunning, the pragmatic. That is why I claimed my position, and it is why I still hold it. And it is why I will not help an unproven whelp. The children of the Suns do not offer aid to strangers. To do so is a sign of weakness. However, If you were recognized as a skilled hunter in your own right, it would be permissible to assist you. Across the desert to the east lies an Amaljar encampment. There dwells a warrior renowned both for his strength and his guile. To even face this Amaljar in battle, you must first find a way to lure him away from the encampment. This will be your test, to draw out and defeat the veteran. For this, I offer you no advice, only this one spear. Why, you ask? You will have to solve that riddle yourself. Now go, slay this old warrior, and bring to me his necklace. Let's ride out. Now, most of you know I can fly because I am already at level 90 and I've beaten a Realm Reborn before. But because I'm doing this, in all fairness, with New Game Plus, I'm following several unwritten stipulations, like I'm not flying anywhere. I cannot believe I forgot to take out my... Well, then again, I started this as monk. I'm using skills I shouldn't be using, but in my defense, Inner Beast is level 35, and I just wanted to get those done. All right, there's our destination. All right, place the bait. There, he is slain. Ah, Diavolo, we've got enough gil for it. Back to the Forgotten Springs. Bayan insists on, you know, going the roundabout way. There he is. Alright, what? Tell me, adventurer, is our old nemesis dead? Here you go. 'Tis a fine necklace, as befits a veteran of countless battles. It will make an excellent trophy. This spear, it belonged to one of his brothers. I knew when he spied it from afar, he would be unable to resist venturing outside the encampment to see for himself. Did you discern my intent, or was it dumb luck, I wonder? Either way, you impress me, adventurer. I shall tell you of the ingredient you seek. A shame we did not meet when I was still with the company of heroes. You would have made a fine recruit, but no point dwelling on what cannot be. You have a Welwick worm to hunt. Sandworms slither brazenly across the desert dunes, but Welwick worms are far fewer in number. Rarity breeds demand, and so their meat is highly prized as a delicacy. The only way to catch your quarry is to entice it with something it cannot resist. These worms prey on the smaller creatures of the Sagoli. A freshly slaughtered angler carcass would be my choice of bait. There is an area teeming with anglers to the east. I will mark it upon your map, along with the location where Welwick worms are almost frequently sighted. Be warned. The blood will drive the worm into a feeding frenzy. If your skills are lacking, it will devour you as well. All right, let's ride. Thankfully, there was an angler right at the edge of the fate line. All right, pass Cruisenick. Let's not dwell on this any longer. I may have done it at night, but it still counts as a victory. All right, Wad. You look well. Have you caught your quarry then? Your skills as a hunter rival those of our best. I applaud your success, Chris. The meat will need to be heavily smoked before I ship it to Weisgate. Worry not. You have my word that he will receive it in time for the banquet. You must be eager to obtain the third ingredient. I regret to say that I know naught of its location. For the nonce, you should return to Costa del Sol and seek Weisgate's counsel. But hold a moment. Since you will be meeting the captain again soon, there is something I would like you to deliver to him from me. The captain was always fond of this brandy wine. I would be grateful if you could deliver it on my behalf. I was a reckless, angry youth when I first joined the company, and he would have been well within his rights to cast me out. Everything I owe to his wisdom and generosity. Weisgate was a firm but yet fair teacher. an expert molder of men, and I suspect that is still the case now. Please, give him my regards, Chris. Alright, back to Costa del Sol. Oh, I know. What am I saying? I just noticed something that we are missing. If you'll look on my second hotbar, right above the cross hotbar, you'll notice a little symbol. That was Sword Oath, and way back in the day, we had to switch between two stances, DPS stance and tank stance. And you basically had to have a certain amount of skill to be a tank. Of course, Sword Oath was removed in, I believe, Shadowbringers, if I recall correctly. May have been removed in Stormblood, but I forget. Oh, wait a minute. What am I doing? I have that information. There we go. I forgot we have this info. So, Sword Oath was an ability that dealt additional damage with a potency of 75 after each auto attack. And we used to use it to basically do a lot more damage and generate a lot more DPS. I never truly knew how to utilize it. But anyway, I decided to take a quick soak in the hot spring and take some pictures. And then teleport to Costa del Sol again. Let's talk to Weiscat. Well met, Chris. Landau and Wad Noon both spoke very highly of you. What brings you here today? Ah, my favorite. I shall have to thank the Noon personally. Now, you have but one ingredient left. Fortunately, you will not have to travel to Aldenard this time to obtain it. Alright, now for... Oh! We had a moment where we didn't have the right levels, so... Yeah, we've got an ad break coming up anyway, so we might as well take a quick break. We will be back with more in just a moment, and besides which, I need to go get in touch with a couple of people, so I will be back in just a few moments.